세계 속의 대한민국, 우리나라의 아름답고 감동적인 이야기를 전합니다. 휴면톡톡입니다. 우리나라의 효자 수출품 중 하나로 김이 있다는 사실 알고 계셨나요? 김은 일명 바다의 반도체라고 불리며 한국을 대표하는 특산물로 자리매김하고 있습니다. 무려 전 세계 김 시장의 70%를 한국 김이 차지하고 있으니 왕 중의 왕이라고 할 만한데요. 한국보다 더 큰 나라 일본과 중국을 합쳐도 한국 김의 소비량을 따라올 수 없다고 합니다. 원래 김은 서구권에서는 바다에서 나는 쓰레기 혹은 바다의 검은 찌꺼기라고 불리며 천대받았습니다. 그러나 최근 엄청난 열풍을 불러일으킨 K김밥 등 K푸드의 위상이 전 세계적으로 높아지면서 김이라는 식재료가 선풍적인 인기를 끌게 되었습니다. 거의 독점 수준의 경이로운 시장 점유율을 보여주는 한국의 김을 영국의 BBC 방송에서 단독 다큐멘터리로 방영하였습니다. 그들의 눈에 비친 우리나라는 어떤 모습인지 요약본으로 정리해드립니다. 구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정은 영상 제작에 큰 힘이 됩니다.
Korean seaweed is receiving an explosive response through large distribution channels in the US and UK and online. Recently, seasoned seaweed has been selling well as a snack and a crunchy way to eat it like snacks. In the English-speaking world, it is also called nori, a Japanese name that was first known, and especially products made by drying and processing to make it easier to eat are also called seaweed snacks. Korean seaweed is also called jim. In the past, it was rare to find places to eat seaweed outside of Korea, Japan, and some parts of China. In English, all seaweeds are called seaweed, which is originally a combination of sea and weed. For many Koreans, eating seaweed was a culture shock. Some people disliked the unique sesame oil smell of seasoned seaweed. However, in the 2020s, kimbap became popular in the United States, and the number of people who dislike seaweed has decreased significantly. As seaweed is known to be rich in vitamin B12, the number of people looking for seaweed for health reasons is increasing worldwide. In 1653, the Jeju government office served seaweed to Hendrik Hamel, a Dutch sailor who was stranded on Jeju Island. Because this was their first time eating seaweed, they described it negatively as if it were a disgusting food, saying they were fed black paper. It is said that seaweed was eaten in the past in our country, Ireland and Wales. However, because it was eaten reluctantly due to the food shortage, it was not enjoyed as a favorite food, and if you ask young people, they say that they only know it because they said that our grandfather's generation ate it. Instead of eating it dried like in Korea or Japan, it was boiled with oatmeal and eaten as a thick porridge like maesaenget guk, or made into laver bread and eaten between bread. There are two main types of seaweed bread. One that is made by boiling it and making it mushy to resemble jam, or one that is lightly mixed with oatmeal and then fried to make a patty. Since the 2010s, Korean-style seasoned seaweed has begun to gain recognition in the US, and is being called seaweed snack, rather than a side dish to eat with rice, and is becoming popular as a snack like potato chips. The image of actor Hugh Jackman's daughter, who is known to like Korea, eating seaweed as a snack became a hot topic in Korea. Currently, the representative name is seaweed snack, but you can also occasionally see it written in Korean as jim gwae. In 2015, a seaweed snack called was sold at Starbucks stores across the United States, and since October 2017, it has been delivered to over 5,000 Walmart branches across the United States. Famous former professional wrestler Steve Austin also consumed seaweed for diet management. In fact, if you search for seaweed on Amazon.com, you will see many reviews of Korean seaweed that say it is delicious and better for your health than potato chips, but the quantity is a bit small. Unlike Korean seaweed, which is salty and mainly eaten as a side dish with rice, it is made less salty and savory to suit the tastes of Westerners and is sold as a snack to make it easier to eat. As seaweed has become increasingly popular, South Korea's seaweed exports last year hit a record high of $790 million. This figure is more than a quarter of Korea's seafood exports last year. Not only is it the largest ever in seaweed exports, but it is also the first time that a single item of seaweed exported by Korea is sold in such large quantities overseas. Even if you combine all agricultural and marine products, ramen is first, followed by seaweed. The reason seaweed is so popular can be seen as being related to the growing influence of Korean food. Seaweed was originally a food ingredient only produced in 3 countries, Korea, China, and Japan, but among them, Korean seaweed is dominating the global market. In 2017, Codex, an organization that sets food standards around the world, accepted the Korean-style seaweed recipe, which mixes seaweed and maizenggi, as the standard. Among the types of seaweed produced in Korea, there is a species called dal seaweed. This stone seaweed is used as seasoned seaweed and is also great for simple eating by roasting it right away and dipping it in a sauce. Because of its excellent taste and aroma, it is gaining popularity among people all over the world. In addition to good raw materials, Korea also has excellent processing technology. If we take the example of seaweed for kimbap, which has recently increased in demand due to the frozen kimbap craze in the United States and other countries, the global supply of seaweed for kimbap is almost monopolized in Korea. The reason lies in our superior manufacturing technology. Japan and China usually produce only seaweed weighing more than 280 grams per bundle, unit of 100 pieces, so the thickness of seaweed is bound to be thick, but Korea has the technology to make it in a variety of sizes from 200 grams to 330 grams per bundle. For this reason, the seaweed export industry explains that only we can produce seaweed for kimbap, which must be thin. Currently, there are 124 countries where Korean seaweed is exported. Experts believe this phenomenon is occurring as demand for healthy vegetarian fluids increases overseas and the popularity of Korean food increases. As more and more people around the world become familiar with Korean culture, seaweed itself, which looks like black paper, is gaining recognition as a food product overseas. As seen in the recent frozen kimbap craze, sales of not only snack seaweed but also seaweed products made using kimbap rolls are increasing. We are exporting domestically produced seaweed as Costco's own brand product. It is said to be doing quite well, with the response being good and the factory being expanded. The amount of Korean seaweed exports to the United States is increasing every year, and as of the first half of 2020, the United States surpassed Japan to become the number 1 export market, and the Korean government's strict quality control is recognized. In 2022, for the first time in Jeonnam, the world's largest seaweed producing area, a company exported $100 million, approximately 130 billion won, worth of seaweed annually. Additionally, as of 2022, among seafood export items, seaweed exports are the largest at $620 million. Korea dominates 70% of the global seaweed market, achieved exports of $100 million in 2010, and has been ranked first in seafood exports since 2019. British people tend to avoid seafood. Therefore, despite being an island country, seafood culture is not very developed. However, we can see that Korea has a very developed seafood-related food industry. Seeing this global craze, the British food industry is deeply impressed by food culture in the food industry. It remains to be seen what changes this craze will bring in the future.
네, 아들들은 종종 간식으로 김을 꺼내 먹습니다. 그들은 그냥 한 장씩 먹으며 꺼내 먹습니다. 정말 맛있습니다. 우리는 불 위에 가볍게 굽는 것을 좋아합니다. 몇 년 전, 내 동생과 그의 한국인 여자친구가 나에게 구운 김을 소개해 주었습니다. 제가 살던 지역에서는 아시아 식료품점을 방문할 기회가 드물었기 때문에 가끔 간식으로 먹곤 했습니다. 최근에 저는 저탄수화물 다이어트를 고수하기 위해 다이어트 중에 먹을 수 있는 짭짤한 간식을 구글에서 검색했습니다. 구운 김이 사이트에 언급되자 즉시 구매했습니다. 부담스럽지 않은 바다향과 감칠맛을 더해주는 짠맛의 조화가 환상적입니다. 맛이 좋은 스낵을 좋아한다면 한국의 김스낵은 최고의 선택일 것입니다. 저는 양념이 잘 된 음식을 좋아하는데 이 한국 김은 대부분 사람에게 딱 맞는 맛을 가지고 있습니다. 김스낵이 무엇인지 모르신다면 건조된 김을 볶아서 소금이나 간장으로 양념한 것으로 밥과 함께 먹거나 단독으로 먹을 수 있습니다. 종이처럼 얇으며 양념하지 않은 초밥 포장에 사용되는 김과는 조금 다릅니다. 어쨌든 저는 이 김과 자를 정말 좋아해 더 주문할 예정이에요.
따뜻한 밥에 김 한 장 올려서 먹으면 밥도둑이 따로 없는데요. 옛날부터 우리의 식탁을 지켜주었던 김이 이제 세계 시장으로 진출하는 것을 보니 언젠가 해외 마트에서 김을 살 수 있게 되는 날이 올 것 같습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 휴면톡톡이었습니다.